And so here it is, at long last, Star Wars The Force Awakens, the biggest movie ever. And it's only been out a matter of hours. Oh, good grief. And I've only just got back from the cinema having seen it, and I am still giddy. I am still hyped up. I think this movie is brilliant, fantastic, and amazing in almost every single foreseeable way. Oh, dear me. So this review that I'm going to do is going to be totally spoiler-free. Of course, this makes the very nature of doing a film review very difficult, as it means I can't talk about plot details, I can't talk about character moments. I've got to do this as objectively, as plainly, as thrill-free as I possibly can do, but I love this movie. I loved every single minute of this movie. It is a movie which, as far as the story goes, as much as I can say is that it reunites old cast members and a new generation of heroes to fight a new evil baddie. That's all I can say. That's all I can say at all in regards to this movie, in regards to its plot or its story. I think that it is brilliant. It is a movie which genuinely has been made with love and passion and a care to the very craft and the art of filmmaking. This movie feels very much like a love letter to that original trilogy. Its use of practical effects, its development of character, moments within it which feel as though they hark back to the original movies, but in a way which feels like a development and an evolution from them, rather than the literal George Lucas, it's like poetry, it rhymes kind of thing. It is a movie which I am very, very tempted to see again, because I just loved almost every single minute of it. I mean, from the moment the title came up saying, a long time ago, in a galaxy far away, I was just beside myself with glee and happiness. When I saw the first visual image, that bits that I can't talk about once again because of spoilers, I was over the moon. And as soon as the credits started to roll, I was there like, right, let's watch it again. This is great. This is fantastic. Every single performance within this movie is truly great. Everybody gives it 110%. Whether that is Donald Gleason's General Hux, who is horrible and nasty and evil, to Daisy Ridley as our lead character, or as much as a lead character as you can get in such a large ensemble movie. It is truly a brilliant, awe-inspiring, magical movie to see. It takes me to a certain degree back to seeing the original trilogy when I was a child, and it feels like such an absolute tonic when you consider what we had almost 20 years ago with The Phantom Menace. It feels as if all that nastiness, all that darkness has almost been detoxed and blanched from the series, and now we have this new, fresh starting point. Abrams has done a fantastic job to create a movie which feels so fresh, so light, so energetic. One which has character, one which has jokes and humour in it, which doesn't at all feel like self-referential bits. There's never really a moment within this movie where it's like a nudge, nudge, wink, wink to the audience, like a joke to the hardcore Star Wars fans. The closest we get to that is just one joke, which you could take in any number of ways and it would still be funny. I love this movie. In case you couldn't tell, I love this movie. I do have an issue with it, which relates itself to the story, or rather its structure. But once again, because this movie is so new, because this movie has literally only been out maybe about 12 hours, I can't talk about that. But even then, it's not sufficient enough for me to condemn the movie and to tell you not to see it. It just means I'm going to have to wait maybe a year before I can talk about these details in any kind of depth. It is a fantastic, brilliant movie from start to finish. Everybody who is in it, everyone who's been involved with it, has created something which is truly, truly amazing. It is a landmark movie, if ever there was one. It is a movie which I hope will be regarded and revered genuinely. One which will not fall prey to the post-hype hangover that we get with so many movies. That in 6 months' time, we're not going to get people chirping up saying, actually, Star Wars The Force Awakens wasn't that good, really. You'll find that in reality, it was actually rather bad, as is often the case with some larger-scale, hyped-up movies. But still, I loved it. I loved it. If you are at all curious, even vaguely, even if you haven't played into the hype, even if you maybe have never seen a Star Wars movie since the original trilogy, I would implore you to go and see this movie, because it is truly one of those moments. It's sat there watching it, it feels as though you're, in certain regard, watching cinematic history unfold before your very eyes. You are seeing one of the most beloved and cherished franchises, in essence, be reborn to rise out the ashes of what has happened over the past 20 years, which is in itself a brilliant and amazing thing. I have nothing else to say to that other than the fact it's the biggest box office smash ever, I think, is very, very apt and is incredibly deserving of this movie. I look forward to seeing what they have further down the line with this particular story arc and the other spin-off movies. It is brilliant. Simply brilliant.